So let's talk about the chessboard and the Go board. The American and the Chinese way of understanding irregular warfare, guerrilla warfare. So imagine for a moment these two classical games, chess and Go. On the surface, they are just board games, right? Simple pieces on a board. What if I told you that these games, in their very essence, can help us understand something as complex as irregular warfare, as guerrilla warfare, and how two major global powers right now, as we speak, the United States and China, approach it so differently? Whether you're 9 years of age or 90 years of age, we all play games. We all understand different ways of winning. Let's explore how these two games illuminate very different strategic philosophies in the shadowy world of irregular guerrilla warfare. And yes, of course, we will draw wisdom from my ancient Chinese master, Master Sun or Sun Tzu. If we look at the American way of war, or the American game of chess, think about chess. It's a game of kings, of queens, of knights, of pawns, all lined up for direct confrontation. The goal is clear. The goal is to capture the enemy's king. It's about powerful pieces. It's about decisive moves. It's often a direct assault to achieve victory, achieve absolute victory. This is much like the American approach to irregular warfare, guerrilla warfare. It's often about direct force-on-force tactics. The United States of America, with its incredible military strength, looks for decisive outcomes. They want to find the problem and they want to target it with precision and neutralize that threat. It's about specialized units, using specialized units, advanced technology, about forming partnerships to achieve tangible results. Just like in chess, where you might sacrifice a pawn to gain a queen. The United States of America is often looking for that big, impactful move that will lead to clear victory. It's about overwhelming force, about achieving a knockout blow. Then you look at the Chinese way, a game of Go. Now let's shift to Go, or Wei Qi, as it's called in China. This game, the game of Go, is entirely different. There are no queens, no kings, just identical stones. The goal isn't to capture the king, but to surround and control territory on the board. It's a game of patience. It's a game of encirclement, of subtle influence, of building strength piece by piece, move by move. You don't directly attack. You gradually build up your position, patiently eroding your opponent's space. This patient, indirect approach is the heart of Chinese philosophy, of irregular warfare, of guerrilla warfare. Their strategy is deeply rooted in ancient doctrines, yes, particularly those of Master Sun or Sun Tzu. The wisdom of Sun Tzu is winning without fighting. Sun Tzu, the legendary Chinese military strategist and general, famously wrote in Art of War, The Art of War, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. So this isn't about direct clashes, it's about preparation, it's about deception, it's about understanding things. For China, irregular warfare, guerrilla warfare is about influencing, it's about subverting, it's about leveraging every facet of power, not just military. They are using economic power, they are using political influence, they are using information campaigns, and they're using cultural exchanges to slowly but surely expand their reach. Now, think about cyber warfare or strategic investments in ports, infrastructure, around the world. These aren't direct battles, but rather moves on the go board, on the international go board. Slowly gaining territory, gradually surrounding and influencing. Sun Tzu advised in his Art of War, know your enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles you will never be in peril. The Chinese approach emphasizes deep understanding of an adversary, of an enemy, and the environment, using that knowledge to find vulnerabilities and subtly exploit them over time, slowly. Contrasting strategies. Look at the contrasting strategies, speed and patience. We have two very different mindsets. America is focused on directness, on power, and achieving quick, decisive victories. China is focused on indirectness, on patience, on gradual influence without a fight. Both China and America have their strengths and weaknesses. The American chess-like approach can be incredibly effective for immediate threats, but it can struggle in long, drawn-out conflicts where the enemy doesn't present a clear, direct threat. The Chinese go-like approach, go-board approach, with its patience, its adaptability, can be incredibly powerful also in protracted conflicts, slowly achieving its goals, almost unnoticed. So what does this mean for us, you might ask? You might be thinking, what does irregular warfare, what does guerrilla warfare have to do with me? Well, these strategic lessons apply to many aspects of our lives, not just armies. You look at problem solving. Do you tackle problems head on like a chess player? Or do you patiently chip away at them, building solutions step by step like a Go player? Understanding others, we look at how quick we are to judge. How do we take the time to actually understand different perspectives of others and their motives? Sun Tzu advises us to know our enemy, and in our case, simply understand different points of view. Do we? Do we really understand other people's points of view? Do we understand their long-term goals? Do we seek immediate gratification, for example? Do we patiently work towards long-term goals? Understanding that big changes often come from very small, consistent efforts. The future of conflict, and indeed the future of global relations, lies in finding a way of combining these approaches of the chessboard and the go board. It's about having the ability to be direct and decisive when necessary, but also possessing the patience and adaptability to navigate complex situations over the long term. It's about integrating the decisive moves of chess and the patient encirclement of Go. By understanding these different strategic mindsets, we can better understand the world around us and perhaps even learn a thing or two about how to approach our own challenges, whether big or small. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this short lesson on irregular warfare, guerrilla warfare, and Sun Tzu. Speak soon. And don't forget to subscribe. Very, very important.